terrain has changed. And the fact that Kamala Harris is stepping back from a governor's race that would be on her home turf that she almost certainly would win, to me shows she sees a better, more prestigious option. And it's hard to imagine what that is other than running for president in 2028. But unless there's like some kind of major strategic overhaul around her, completely different type of team, completely different type of messaging, different media strategy, I think Kamala 28 is a replay of Kamala 24. Now,
yeah, I largely agree with that. I think she'd spend more time on the offense, criticizing the state of things because Republicans will have held the White House for 4 years by then. But yeah, I do see her being very similar on policy. I would be interested to see who she picks as her vice presidential nominee, though. Would she do Tim Walz again? Because Tim Walz isn't running in 2028. But still, I hope we don't even get there because I don't think she should be the nominee in 2028.
The risk, of course, for Democrats is making the same sort of miscalculation more than once and assuming that experience, which she has, and on paper electability, which she, of course, has, is going to win you a campaign. And we already saw that that simply doesn't work. So I think the bigger question for the Democratic Party, which I know you all know, I am very pessimistic about this Democratic Party right now. The question for the Democratic Party is the party, the party control cadre, I don't even know what to call it, the Politburo, for lack of a better term, is it really ready for something different? Now,
on a federal level, it does not seem that way. I mean, look at the leadership. Although on a more state level, a smaller level, look at Zoran Mamdani winning in New York City for the Democratic mayoral primary. So yeah, there are some signs there, but not so much within the federal level. The 2028 presidential election, are they really ready for that type of change? I don't think so yet.
I am not ready today to pick anybody or to tell you who I think should run or make an endorsement or anything like that. But I do think that among those who are rumored to be thinking about it, there are a lot of better options than Kamala Harris. I mean, if you say, David, would you rather Wes Moore, governor of Maryland, who I saw speak in person recently, and he was excellent, would I want Wes Moore or Kamala Harris as the nominee? I'd say I think Wes Moore has a better shot at this. Generationally, he has a different perspective on how to run campaigns, Rhodes Scholar, veteran. I think Moore is a better candidate than Harris in the abstract. I would choose Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, over Kamala Harris. Appeals to...
She's interesting because she's from a swing state, although I feel like some of her meetings with Trump might backfire on her. They might not be a good look in the Democratic primary.
Suburban women and independents in a way that I don't think Harris does. I would choose Josh Shapiro over Kamala. Shapiro, with the rampant anti-Semitism, there's no doubt that Shapiro has liabilities. There's no question. But he's not flashy, but he's widely respected. He probably appeals to moderates in a way that Harris doesn't. What about Newsom versus Kamala Harris? I think I choose Newsom over Harris. Confident communicator, very aggressive with right-wing media. The risk is he's almost too slick for his own good. He's so good at performing that I think it can sometimes come off as a little too scripted or disingenuous.
I think Newsom would be okay. Some of his appearances on right-wing media, though, might harm him in the Democratic primary. Or I should say his appearances with right-wing media figures like Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon. I think Josh Shapiro would be okay, too. Being from a swing state probably helps. But also some of his comments on Israel-Palestine might backfire on him.
Would take Andy Beshear over Kamala Harris. A red state governor in Kentucky. We had him on the show recently. We know he can win in red states. He's good on kitchen table issues. He hasn't been distracted by culture war stuff. So the point, and Pete Buttigieg, I think, is interesting. There are a lot of people who I think strategically are more interesting than Kamala Harris. So is this a setup to run in 2028? I don't know. Certainly is opening that door. Personally, I think we simply lose. It's not, I think Harris is awesome, but I think we lose. Let me know what.
Yeah, probably. Probably we do lose. Kamala Harris is not the most interesting option, and the Democrats often choose one of the less interesting options. I mean, look at 2020. They went with Joe Biden. Like, oh my gosh, it's the guy who was Obama's vice president. Of course, he's the anointed one. God forbid we entertain Bernie Sanders, Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Buttigieg, any of those people in 2020. Tulsi Gabbard was a lot less insane back then. But yeah, God forbid we entertain any of the other Democratic options, and they just go with the one who seems like, oh yeah, they're up for it, vice president. And so if they go with Kamala Harris again, that does seem like it's a very, very big risk, although perhaps she'd do better in 2028 than in 2024 because of the 4 years of chaotic Trump leadership that will have occurred by then. Let me know what you think in the comments below about David Pakman's comments here. Thank you for watching.